You believe in pirates, of course.
Oh, yes.
You want to see some?
Love to.
Right over here.
Why won't does that camera?
Playing, should we, Julie Green.
Hello.
Julie is Miss Disneyland Centennial, and I want you to tell her all about what you're doing here. We're working on a full-scale pirate, Julie, and I'd like to have a look at him here.
Kind of angry looking fellow.
Well, he has to be a tough guy. The pirates were pretty tough. This will animate when we have it in the show. He'll talk, and we'll have all kinds of body movements and things that carry on a regular little story.
Then he'll be audio animatronic.
Audio animatronic, that's right. She's sharp. Miniatures. We got them right over here. Take a look at some of them. I think this little miniature here is taken first in a sketch. Make these sketches to figure out the types and the characters, and then Blaine takes them and puts them in dimension. Handsome one. Now, these sketches here have to do with some of the things that are going to happen when you take this cruise through the pirates' domain. Here's one here. Here's a pirate laden with loot. He's trying to escape. He's got one foot on the dock, one foot on a rocky boat. As the people go by, they see him. He's struggling and everything.
Good luck to him.
Well, he can't make it. Well, the ship will go to pieces. You see, he has to stay there all the time and keep trying to get away.
Poor guy is still there, rocking back and forth. Yeah, let's go. Well, now, Alice, when you were designing the costumes for Pirates of the Caribbean, were there any special considerations you had to take into, because these figures were moving, it wasn't like dressing a mannequin. So, what did you have to do in the design of the costumes to accommodate the figures?
Thank God for Velcro. The costumes had to go on over their heads because their feet were bolted to the floor. And some of them, their knees are bolted to the floor. And like the man on the cannon, all of the controls in that all come up through his stomach and chest. So his hands were together and bolted to the cannon. His wrists were together, his ankles are bolted to the cannon, and you have to put the clothes on over it. And some of the clothes, you would look at them and you'd think I was some kind of nut, because the costume for the one on the cannon looks like a gorilla suit. Because you have to bend the legs, you have to cut the fabric so that you won't have a big bunch of fabric in one spot. But then you have other ones where the pirate is on the winch and going up and down. His knees are bolted to the floor, but his buttocks has to go up in the air 18 inches. So it was quite a problem to figure out how to do it without making it look like his pants were full when he'd come back down. There were a few other problems I won't even mention.
I never thought you'd encounter that problem. Hey, look, there's the auctioneer. Let's talk about him. Now, tell us about that. Now, you had told me once before that these figures are kind of interesting. The fact that all of us, we wear our clothes, they wear from the outside in. But these wear out from the inside out.
Correct.
Tell us about that.
Well, with the machinery on the inside, they have to leave openings to where like for the arm, they would cut out this so that you could bend the arm because it's cast in hard, clear butyrate. So when the arm would close up, if you didn't have a slippery lining to it, the butyrate would just take a big chunk out of the sleeve. So some of it you had to interline as well as line so that it would run smoothly over the butyrate. I got rather irritated with the costume for the auctioneer because it had some problems, and I happened to watch on TV the opening of the pirate ride, and who should be wearing the costume of the auctioneer, but Wally Boat jumping around and dancing all over. And I thought, oh my God, if he does something to that costume, we're dead. But he didn't rip it.
Now, Alice, in doing these costumes, did you do any actual research into pirates and exactly what they wore?
Mark more or less did that with his drawings. What I tried to do was follow Mark's drawings and keep it as close to his drawings as possible. But with some, like the man guarding the redhead, Mark's drawing has him in a tank top. But I couldn't do it. I thought the hairy shoulders were great, but we couldn't do it because with the movement, his skin kept tearing. And there was no way we could stop it, so we put long sleeves on him instead.
Now, I think we have a sketch, that original sketch of the little pirate. Let's see here. Let's see. He's a cute little guy. That little fellow right there?
There's one that had just a tank top, and he was no problem, but the one with the tank top was a problem.
But
the redhead was a real problem because from right below her bust to her hips, there was nothing but a 2-inch tube going down, so I had to make a complete corset that would fit with grippers onto the butyrate underneath the bust and at the top of the hips.
I will never look at that figure the same way again.
She's all hollow inside.
Now, Alice, did you get any advice from Mark or Walt on designing the costumes at all?
Just that they better be good and last. There was one thing, though. They told me to make just one costume for each figure, and I said, well, in case something should happen, you have to have a backup. And without a backup, you won't be able to keep the ride going. So I had to report to the bookkeeper on how much material I needed for each costume. So I decided he doesn't know how much material it takes to make a shirt. I ordered material for 2 suits.
Poor bookkeepers just left alone.
Right. Anyway, I made 2 costumes, and I hid one set. And I think the ride was open for about a month and a half, and they had a fire. And you haven't lived till you've seen one of those figures burn. The melted skin around the glass eye and that, with all these different wires of different colors coming out, it was gruesome. But anyway, they came running to me, Alice, when can you get another costume made for these figures? And so I opened up the door and showed them the costumes and said, if you bring over the fishing pole to put the hats on, the one that Walt was saying, 1 foot in the grave, and the other one in the... Well, anyway, all of these hats were ruined. So within a half an hour, they had all the costumes, and now they make 3 costumes for each figure.
We have some footage from WED that we'll take a look at. I think you'll see somebody in here who looks rather familiar. So let's take a look.
Yes, anything's possible at Disneyland. And everything in Disneyland began as an idea at a unique branch of the Disney organization called WED Enterprises. Here, the skills of the sculptor and the talents of many artists combined to create the amazing audio-animatronic cast of the Pirates of the Caribbean. In the show, even the boldest buccaneer was groomed and dressed in his Sunday best. And here's part of the cast of the 66 life-size pirates and their ladies. A lineup worthy of the name. Rose